My name's Mike, and it's my mission to show you how easy it is to grow food. Today I'm super excited to share with you my miracle moringa tree. And the reason this tree is a miracle, and the reason I need to share this with you, was this tree grew from this tiny little cutting, which I'll zoom in on. This tiny little cutting was given to me by one of my neighbors, one of my friends. This was in a pot, tiny little pot. And from this grew this entire tree here in less than 3 months. This thing here that you're looking at, that I'm standing behind, is less than 3 months planted in the ground. From this cutting, this little tiny sprig here, it died off. I found it on the ground several days ago. And I mean, this thing is starting to harden like a tree. As we get up higher here, it's still pretty green. You can feel it's very soft. Down here, it's very hard. Now, every day I come out here and take some pieces of the moringa off and enjoy what nature has given to us. And the reason they call this the moringa tree is almost this entire thing is edible. You can eat the bark, you can eat the roots, the leaves. You can eat the leaves. You can make a tea. You can dry them out and make a powder for a smoothie. Moringa has more vitamin A than a carrot, more vitamin C than an orange, more potassium than a banana. And as you can see, this moringa tree has completely taken off. I did not expect it to do this well. In this position, I have another one. I'll show you that one shortly. It's a miracle tree because not only is it a miracle that this tree grew in place of this little sprig here, which I'm gonna return to the earth as a reminder of how amazing this plant is, but this tree could absolutely save your life, especially with all the nutrients and benefits that this plant has. The fact that you can pretty much eat the entire thing. When it gets a lot bigger, it has these big long seed pods, and apparently you can cook those as well. I've yet to experience that, but this tree, I wish, was in another location because of how well it's doing. But I'm gonna treat this one like an annual. So at the end of the season, because of how close it is to the pool, how big and how fast these things can grow, I didn't really want it this big next to the pool. So my intent was to cut it down, harvest the roots, harvest all the greens from it, and maybe it gets some seed pods and we can start this process all over again with some germinated seeds. Amazing miracle tree. I've seen them on YouTube videos. If someone lives like in an apartment or a townhouse, they have it in a pot on their first floor, foyer, outside deck area, and it's actually grown up the side along the railing, almost like a vine. One of my other neighbors, he has 3 moringa trees that he's been growing for years, because you can see how many times they've cut this thing back. I've seen moringa trees 20 feet tall. So it's just an amazing tree. It's pretty drought resistant. I believe it's an African tree, so it can withstand a lot. And I thought both of mine were pretty much dead because they hadn't really been getting watered very much. Nonetheless, this is my miracle tree. I'm thankful to share it with you, and hopefully you'll consider planting a moringa in your garden. Now we're gonna cut over to my other miracle tree. All right, as you can see here, this moringa tree is not doing as well compared to, you know, the little tiny sprig. This one was actually probably about this high when I first put it in the ground no more than 3 months ago, probably about 2.5 months ago. It was the same day I planted the other one. So these have been in the ground the same amount of time. It's still doing well. It's starting to take off. You can see here where like the old bark was, and then now we've got this new soft green coming up here. So this one's starting to take off. It is competing with a lot more weeds. We've got sweet potato, arugula, there's some purslane down here. So it's in a little bit of competition, but it is on the north side of my property along the fence here where I have most of my trees that I expect to get a lot bigger. And while I enjoy some more of this moringa from the first one, I just wanted you to see this one. Hopefully I can cut in some videos of what it looked like when it was the pot, and you can see what just a couple months can do once it's in the ground. So I am going to come out here in the next several weeks and just kind of clean this up a little. Everything got some worm tea the other day. I'm excited now that everything in the garden except for one plant got worm tea, and so I can, you know, use that one plant as a controlled experiment, but everything else I wanted to make sure got some very nutritious worm tea from my friends at Save Our Soil. So thank you very much. That's it for this video. Peace and love. We'll catch you on the next one.